Hello, my name is Vicki, founder of Outsource Today, and thanks very much for stopping by. Today I'm chatting to Paula. Paula is a chartered accountant registered with us here at Outsource Today. So Paula, thanks so much for taking the time out to chat. If you want to, I suppose, take a moment and just give us a little bit of background as to who you are and what it is that you do for your clients.
Hi, Vicki. Thanks very much for the opportunity to talk to you. So as you said, yes, I'm a chartered accountant. I started working as an accountant about 22 years ago. So I did my training and practice. So I was there for 7 years, which gave me a great foundation. And then I spent about 15 years working in different industries at a financial controller level. So I've seen quite a bit. So I decided to set up my own practice, Travers Accounting Services. I just felt that I had a bit to offer, and I wanted to work closely with business owners to help them along, as I felt that there's a gap. There's a gap at a certain point, and I feel I can fill that gap, if you like. So particularly what I see with companies, limited companies, is that they get to a certain point, maybe 18 months, 2 years, 3 years down the line, and by virtue of being successful, they've outgrown their existing accounting setup, their accounts. They may have maybe an unqualified or maybe accounts person working very well for them, but I feel that they probably need a professional at that point, but they don't want to have to invest in a full-time financial controller or accountant. So what I do is I provide a virtual financial controller service, and I literally will take over their accounts function and advise them of the systems they should be using and advise them of the processes they should be using. And I can train their existing staff, and I can bring them to a point where they have up-to-date real-time information for their business, which how this will help them. It's not about me, it's about them, is they can make proper informed decisions in their business instead of looking into the past, which is the traditional way they would have dealt with their accountant. This is about being up to date, about having rolling cash flow forecasts, so that they're not worrying, they're not lying awake at night worrying about will I have enough money in 6 months' time to pay my staff, to pay my suppliers, to keep my business going. I think those are the things that really keep business owners awake at night if people really drill down to it. So that's it in a bit of a nutshell, Vicki.
Okay, and from a client's perspective, you just mentioned that you offer a virtual, so a remote service. So in relation to the clients that you have at the moment, are they located in specifically near you, or do you actually have clients throughout the country? Is that the way that you've set yourself up, so that you don't necessarily need to meet with the client?
Exactly. I always like the initial contact, obviously, to talk to somebody as we're talking now, to see if we can form a relationship, work together, because I think it's an important relationship, and see if we're a good fit for each other. So after that, I use all the technology that's available, which involves specifically, I use auto entry, which is a brilliant system where clients can just take a photo of all the receipts, and basically the technology will pull that information up into their account system. It's incredibly clever, and what it means is I'm not spending all my time doing data entry. I'm then available to them to give them actual advice, to review their figures, to analyze their figures and turn it into solid, non-jargon, common sense advice. So to answer your specific question, no, by virtue of that, none of my clients, my limited company clients, are in my local area at all, and it works perfectly well.
So generally, I suppose past, way businesses might have looked at their accountants in the past was basically they might have received an email in September and you know, to remind them that the accounts were due for the end of October, November deadlines. But I'm picking up that the service you provide it's more than that. It's actually a one-to-one consultation or mentoring or advice service that you provide your clients. So you actually act as their financial advisor throughout the year. Do you advise them in advance if you see something coming in on the systems where it's kind of showing a red flag, that you make contact with them then and discuss that and look at working and how to turn it around quickly so it doesn't develop into a problem?
Exactly, Vicki. You've described it very well. I think there's a new breed of accountants now, and we've been facilitated by technology in order, which allows us to have stronger, closer ties with our clients. So yes, this is exactly the type of relationship I want to have with my clients, and I do have with my existing clients, where it's not just once a year, it's an ongoing. I mean, literally, I am there as their most trusted advisor. I know there's a lot of business mentors and business coaches out there, and they all serve a purpose. But at the end of the day, I do believe that your accountant should be your primary business advisor, and because we get to see the nitty gritty of your figures, and you know, for any business, it boils down to why you're in business primarily is to make a profit. So I believe I and my fellow accountants have greater insight. So the systems I use, literally, there's a dashboard which creates, as you say, there'll be red flags. You would have you tag certain things that you want to keep an eye on, and you can monitor. And yeah, it's a very much up to date, not looking into the past, ongoing relationship. It's not about, you know, pick up the phone and I speak to you for half an hour and then I charge you for half an hour. It's not like that. Part of the packages I provide is that I am there for you, to support you throughout the year.
Perfect. And just picking up on that point about pricing, would I be right in thinking that as clients, because they'll be more productive or they'll be keeping a better record of their accounts on a month-to-month basis, it's not a case of turning up in September or October with a bag full of receipts and handing it over to the accountant for them to sort out and compile, etc. That by you helping them be more organized and structured with their accounts throughout the year, it actually will benefit them because it won't cost as much in the long run.
Exactly, Vicki. Yeah, because, or put it like this, they can choose to spend as much, but what they're getting for their money is actual business advice. They're not just paying somebody for data entry, which is what happens now. They're paying a highly qualified person or a member of their staff to do data entry, which is something that they could be doing in-house. And which, how I deal with that is I use systems to do the data entry. I don't do it myself, but I have the know-how and the experience to set up the systems for each individual business so that the data is captured and it's just done and dusted. And then I spend my time doing what I do best, is actually providing information, not data, information, concrete information. So yeah, you're getting better value for your money, essentially. Whereas, as I say, the scenario where you probably have maybe an unqualified person or just somebody who doesn't have the experience, there's only so far that they can bring it to. And once you then have to ship anything off to your external accountant, it's expensive. It can be expensive. So also just to explain, I have the authority, I'm a registered public accountant, to prepare statutory accounts. So there is no need for another accountant. I can literally I can be your accounts department and your external accountant all in one. There is no need. So what I see, especially nowadays, companies will have an account member staff in-house, and then they have to ship stuff off to somewhere else. With me, there is no need to do that.
So you sound like a perfect solution to everything.
That's the idea.
when it comes to just keeping on track and making sure that money is well spent and spent efficiently.
Exactly. Yeah. And honestly, I'm a real advocate for using technology. There are a lot of traditional accountants who are afraid of technology, or what the technology companies are saying is that, oh, you don't need an accountant, and there's this fear that accountants are going to be replaced by technology. It's not like that at all. I see it as a brilliant opportunity so that I can use the technology to do the data entry, the bookkeeping, so then I have time to do the real nitty-gritty, high-level expert stuff that I am trained to do. So 10, 15 years ago, I probably couldn't provide this service, but that's what's available now, and I'm not sure if people are aware of that.
Perfect. Well, they'll be aware now. So look, on that note, I will finish up. So if you're interested in connecting with Paula, feel free to contact me. I can discuss with you how that works. And Paula, thanks so much again for taking the time out. It was lovely meeting or chatting to you virtually. I feel like I've met you, although it's online, and that's, as you say, it's the benefit of technology now that we can do this, that you don't necessarily have to meet face to face, but at the same time, it's the next best thing to building relationships online is through video. So
exactly. So thank you very much, Vicki.
You're very welcome. Take care.
Take care.